Oh, look at that poor gate. The doohickey. Okay, here we go. Good morning. It's the middle of summer and it's dry now. We've had a pretty interesting season, really. September, October and November were all really dry. I think September was our driest ever September, which is usually not the case. It's usually build up for our spring and makes everything just rosy. This year though, it wasn't the case. But then in December, early January, we got some really good rains. And everything was turned around and everything was green when it probably shouldn't have been because it was going to dry off and die, but well, not die, but just dry off. And we're going to feed into little silage and hay, our surplus feed. We're going to be feeding, we're going to have to start feeding that early, which no one wants to do, especially when there's not much of it. But like people used to say, well, not used to say, I'm sure they still say it, that if you don't make much hay or silage or surplus feed in general, there's generally a reason for it and it'll be okay. But just at that time, at the start of the season there, when it wasn't looking real good for silage or hay, people went mental. Like people paying $160 for wheat silage in a 4-foot bale, like just out of this world stuff, whereas a regular bale will sell for $80 to $100 of pasture silage. And wheat silage isn't the best of quality. It was a bizarre time there, and I think everyone's sort of cooled their jets a little bit, which is good. You don't want to cause mass hysteria. Yeah, but we are now feeding out silage. What are we? Yeah, middle of Feb, so that's not uncommon. I feel like we just finished making it, but we'll start feeding it out just to try and slow the girls and boys up in the paddocks. Also, something happened yesterday. I better show you. I bent the gate. In fairness, I bent it by driving into it. Yeah, not my finest. Not my finest. I think in an earlier video I commented about not forgetting to shut this gate and commenting, it's a little bit bent, but it still swings. Well, it doesn't swing anymore. Oh! No, it doesn't. Yeah, it must have been a bit of a daze. Must have been in a daze. I have to take that off and try running it over with the tractor, see if that works. Anywho, we'll get a few morning jobs done. Load up! Load up! Okay, so I've feed a couple of bales out. One to this little mob here. We pre-tested the other day. I'm sure I mentioned that, but we pre-tested the other day, and these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 heifers weren't in calf, which is a little disappointing, but I think it's still within the realms of where it should be. 9 out of 130-ish. So out of 130-ish, 9 were not in calf. So at the end of the day, there's one that's quite big that will probably go to the abattoirs because she's had, it's like 2 strikes now. She's had 2 opportunities getting calf and she hasn't, which is a bit, yeah, it's a bit sad for everyone. But yeah, you can't keep them long, you can't keep them forever. These other ones, we'll probably just keep them, and they're just not worth anything to get rid of at the moment. I'm not going to fit. I'm not going to fit. How do you expect me to get in here? You don't, do you? How? Have I done this? Have I got into this paddock before? I would have, sure. I might try backing in. So where was I? Yeah, we'll keep the other ones. They've had one strike, so they're okay. I wonder if this is going to work. Stay in there, please. Whoop! I'm running into this fence. Ooh. Gateways on the corners. Don't do it. Don't do it. I think we're going to succeed here. Oh. Oh. And it's worked, baby! Ooh. What? Right, let's see if we can get out. I must have been in here before with a feeder. I don't remember having to do this before. Yeah. Okay, well, let's take it a bit more of an angle, making it really hard. Oh no, we keep going, and then turn really late as we possibly can. Take four-wheel drive off. Oh, someone has locked the foot brake. So that brake's the left-hand side, that brake's the right-hand side. If you want to turn sharply, you press that one, well, whichever way you want to turn, but I want to turn this way, I want to press this one, so it'll sort of, there we go. Press those brakes to try and get the screw around a little bit harder. And look, it's worked beautifully, look at that. Press, 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 just that side. That's better. And then when you want both brakes, press them both. Or you slide that little doohickey across. The doohickey. You just have to press it in a roundabout spot and press both of them. But when you do that, you put it in a four-wheel drive, which is fine. But when I was trying to turn in that gateway, I was trying to make it short. So pressing two brakes and putting it into four-wheel drive wasn't helping me to turn. We'll go feed out these bales and then we'll head out to Nook where we've got our potatoes. We're running a little bit short on water and, well no, the water's there, we just can't access it. So yesterday we had a brownout. Anyway, we had a bit of power but not all that much power. And it did something funny with the bore pump, which the irrigator is about halfway through its run. Which is what it is. So the drama is when I start this pump, it usually flicks up to whatever it will flick up to, 80 to 100 amps, and then it's like an initial boost, a little extra punch to get the bore started, and then it'll drop back down to about 40 amps. This is what it does now. So auto, turn a bit of power on. It's up around 100, and now it's like around like 250. So I need to call the experts. I did talk to my water irrigation dude, like, the bore could be stuffed. So he hit me hard, like just right, pow, in the kisser with some hard facts that it might be worst case scenario, which was great. Oh no. And then he sort of cooled down. He's like, oh, well, maybe it could be the starter. So I need to get a Sparky in to have a look to see if it's just the starter, not delivering something right to the bore. If it's not, then it could be the bore pump itself down at the bottom of that casing, 42 meters down. And I really hope that's not the case. So we'll start with the Sparky first, the above ground things, and then yeah, hopefully it's just that. Oh.
Go left a bit. Yeah, so you didn't have a multimeter to put across it, then you could tell what was going on.
Oh, look at that poor gate. Alright, we're back at the Spuds, and over there, you probably can't see, I don't know how to zoom, or if it zooms. We have an irrigator that fell short of the run, and what happened was we ran out of water. 106, it's got 106 meters to go. Over 300 and whoop, check how many hours. So it's got about 5 hours to go. We'll go down the dam and have a look. That is the suction line, and that is almost out of the water. The trouble with this dam is that it's a bit of a sandbank across there. And so to get over into that sort of, I assume, the deeper part of the dam, we need to keep going out. And it's already 666, so it's 18 meters out there, which is long, as long as I've ever done. We've got another little 3 meter piece here that we'll put on and see if that gets us a little bit further out. I just had a quick wardrobe change because it's going to get a little bit hot, which is good. Real way to fix it is that we need to bring or take we need to take the pump further down, and we probably need to make a bit of a track out through there somewhere just so we can get closer to it. Need to make a bit more of a path down to an area closer. That's the way we're going to fix it. That's the way. Can't keep buying these lengths of pipe. About 6 meter lengths, probably $1,000. Can't justify doing that. I'll pull this rope and I'll let the foot valve, it'll open that, and therefore that'll drain the water out of that, I hope. Oh, delicious. It's half caked in mud. Well, I'll undo this one and we'll shift that forward, hopefully. Hope that gets deeper out there. Very. Right, this is, we'll get that bolted up, then we'll push it further out and we'll bolt that back on. And hopefully we'll be in luck. Right, they are all bolted together. Now we've got to prime this little bad boy. Now I must give a huge shout out to Matt Ag Groom Spraying's great, yeah. Big shout out to Groomy for letting me borrow his diesel pump. It's an absolute beautiful thing. Beautiful. So it's got this awesome priming thing too. So that there is turning. Must be a little turbine in there and pulling the air out and hopefully pulling the water up, hence priming that line. Let's hope it works. Oh, I hope it works. At least get that irrigation run done. That's a critical thing. Successfully got it going. That I thought that was going to be like a whole day project, which I didn't have time for, but that's working. Oh, yes. Well, while we're here, we probably should have a look at the spuds. A bit of a crop update. They must be, so the Russet Burbanks, they're about week, at I guess 14, week 14, maybe 15. So you'll see that they're starting to sort of fall over and crash a little bit. So one thing about Burbanks, you really want to try and get them to 20 weeks. Longer the better, longer the better. So they're a really late maturing variety. So once they get to 15 weeks, they'll tend to bulk up a lot more. And what I mean by bulk up is like, you know, bulky and stuff, like the spuds themselves. So let's have a bit of a dig. Yeah, those little holes, they could be some sort of insects or something description. Ideally we'll have 2-3 stems, ensure some good numbers. Ooh. So something that there is a little gall, and that is called powdery scab. So powdery scab will start infecting those roots and then it'll move on to the spuds, obviously blemishing or making the spud look a little more undesirable, particularly not good in fresh market where they're sold like as a whole spud. With these ones, if it's not too bad, it won't be too bad of an issue, because it'll just, the powdery scab will form like a wart-like look on the potato. And if it's just on the surface, because these are, I should say, these are processing potatoes, so these will be made into chips, hash browns, wedges, all those sorts of things. So they'll be, I guess, value added. If the powdery scab gets really bad, it will start encroaching in through the skin into the spud itself, but it doesn't happen too often. Yeah, but the big thing that powdery scab does do to us is limits our yield. It takes away the potential to grow an even bigger crop. So it's not great. It restricts roots. It pinches them. I guess it sort of strangles them. Yeah. Anyway, I haven't seen any on the spuds. Generally we see a lot, just about in every single paddock, unless it's, yeah, really fresh dirt that's never had potatoes in it. But just about every paddock in Tassie that's had spuds in it will have some level of powdery scab. So, spud. There's one over there. So they're tiny. Hopefully we can find some more without putting any skin under our fingernails. He's probably a pretty desirable size for a chip, but these ones, yeah, they can still keep going. That one will still probably keep bulking up. What else can we talk about? We can talk about, you can see these little white dots. Little white dots. They're called lenticels. They're essentially what helps the potato breathe. When they're too wet, it'll be all these little white dots all over it, and that's a good indicator that we've got them too wet. Need to slow down on our watering or let them dry out a little bit. But these ones are only just popping, so we can keep going with these pretty comfortably. I'm pretty happy with that moisture. Yeah, it's sort of holding a ball pretty well. I love when irrigation's going to plan. It's so satisfying. When it's not, it's possibly the worst thing in the world. The worst. Okay guys, that'll do for today. I'm just really stoked that we got that suction line sorted and now back irrigating because we need to keep going. There's no rain forecast. Like I said earlier, the season's been such a bizarre one, but I don't know what you call normal anymore. Thanks for watching guys.